Awesome. So next is BB. BB, look, you've gotten better, buddy. Your questions are a lot shorter and not quite as many. So I think we're finally getting through to you, man. And I'm just giving you a hard time, BB. We're always like having you here. But he says, hey guys, number one, does the link to a branded property in the press release should be to the property or to one of its pages that were syndicated by RSS? Well, it depends on what you're doing, but so my strategy, and again, it's covered in the press release SEO or PR silo stacking webinar that we did, Marco and I did. Again, you can find that at MGYB or just go to youtube.com/semantic mastery, use the channel search feature, search for press release SEO, and you'll find it, right at the top. Go watch that, because what I prefer to do is we're constantly blogging for clients or for projects, period, so that it populates the syndication network. We're building topical relevancy and depth to our silos, right? Depth to a particular topic. And then they syndicate out to the syndication networks, right? And within every single post, within the proper silo architecture, we're always linking back up from the post back up to the top of silo page, which is the page that we're trying to drive traffic to, right? So what I do is I always, I like to publish press releases that are highlighting or showcasing a recent blog post. And that links to the blog post URL, which within the blog post, it actually links back up to the page on the site. But I mean, you don't have to use that strategy all the time. That's what I do because I consistently publish we're consistently blogging and we're consistently publishing press releases for all of my clients or my lead gen assets. So it just works out really well because we're providing deep links. So links further down into a silo that helps to power up with proper silo architecture. It helps to power up the entire silo and helps all of the different keywords that we're targeting within the silo start to rise or surface in the search engines because of those deep links, right? So that's my preferred method because it adds more diversity and it's linking to multiple points within the main money site as opposed to always constantly hitting the home page or just the product or service pages, the top of silo pages, in other words. So I like to do deep links, but it depends on what you're doing. If you're not doing a lot of press releases, if you only got a budget for a handful of them, then it might be better to actually hit your homepage and or your top of silo pages, that kind of thing. So it really just depends on what your overall content marketing strategy is and what you're going to be linking to. That's going to determine where you're going to link to from within your site. Okay. That said, I almost not 100%, but we almost always link from within press releases to a page or post on the money site, unless we're doing a two-step, which again, go watch the press release SEO webinar and you'll understand what I mean. But for example, if a client all my local clients have Google My Business profiles. So if we publish a post, when we publish a blog post on the blog, my blogger also, for most of my clients, will end up publishing a GMB post that points a link back to the blog post. So essentially the GMB post is nothing other than a summary of the blog post itself with the same featured image as the image for the GMB post, the photo. And then the button link, the learn more button link, links back to the blog post. So sometimes our press releases will actually link to the GMB post URL because that ultimately links to the blog post URL. So it's a two-step process there. But you can also, and I've talked about this almost every week now for the last 2 months on Hump Day Hangouts, BB. So I'm sure you're aware of what I've said. But if you've got particular keywords that you're trying to push, then you can actually go extract the post URLs from, for example, the blogs on your syndication network. So Blogger, Tumblr, WordPress, you can go extract the post URLs that are where the resyndication of the post that you publish targeting those keywords. And you can link to those within press releases too, if you want to, because again, that's tiered link building. So it's helpful in any one but you don't have to. I prefer to link to those blog post URLs using Dedi as link building from MGYB, because I like to use the press releases to link directly back to the money site or to primary tier one assets, such as a GMB profile, GMB map, ID page, any one of those types of things. You want to comment on that? That was a good question, by the way, BB.
That was a really good question. Now, I mean, the link building varies. It depends on how much power you're trying to push and where, and everything, excuse me, where it's needed, where everything's needed. Because sometimes it's just one press release push can get you to where you need to be, and other times you're going to need way more.
Yeah.
There's other times when you're going to need even link building into the press releases. There's no one set rule, because sometimes it's just the SEO power shield coming coming in, right? Coming online, and that's enough. And sometimes it doesn't even have to do with the competition, because we've seen it even in some tough keyword sets that you start ranking like right from the SEO power shield. So this is totally, and it depends. There's no definitive answer for this, other than you're going to have to get your press release. If you set it up correctly and you hit your top level category rather than just like everybody does your home page, then your top level category will flow, right? It'll push all of that power so that everything benefits from it, including the top level category, not just the long tail keywords. It's how we teach it now. We teach people to go from the top down instead of bottom up. It's a little different. It's kind of the same thing, except we're going, for example, if we want to rank for gold futures, this is just an example. It's incredibly difficult to rank for that, but we would go even one level higher. We would go after the gold category, the entire gold category, to pull up the gold futures category instead of trying to push it up with all of the long tails. And I've seen that it has a greater effect when you try to go for that top level category on everything else, not only the long tails, but the subcategory that you're after. So I'm always telling people, you go one level up. So keeping this in mind, then it's up to you. I always tell people that we have to be scientists when we're gauging how it is that we're going to do this, what effect we're trying to create. You're going to have to create your link building, and press releases are part of link building. You're going to create it so that whatever you're trying to benefit the most gets the most benefit out of what you're doing. And so you approach it that way.
Yeah. So it varies. That's the short answer. It varies. It depends, right?